Welcome to LINER Notes. My name is David Bixler. Heads up that due to COVID-19, this interview is recorded remotely. It might not be the same quality as if recorded in a studio. Earlier this year, bassist Gerald Cannon brought a septet into Dizzy's that included a front line of Joe Lovano, Eddie Henderson, Sherman Irby, and Steve Turre, along with pianist Dave Kikokski and the legendary Lenny White. They featured the music of two of Gerald's former employers, Elvin, Jones and McCoy, and the performances were captured in an energetic live recording. In this episode of LINER Notes, Gerald reflects on lessons learned in his time playing with Jones and Tyner. And we also talk about his other passion, painting. Gerald Cannon, good afternoon. Thanks for taking the time to speak with us on LINER Notes. And, first thing, two cats from Racine, Wisconsin. You are in Naples, Italy. I'm in Budapest, Hungary right now, meeting for this thing.
Look at us.
Yeah, man. A long way from Horlick High School, bro. And,
that's right. Jerstedt. Jerstedt Agerholm.
You did.
Yeah, man.
Anyone that doesn't know, you can probably Google it, find out what he's talking about there. So you are vacationing, doing some gigs, man. I got to say, it looks... I've seen some posts on Instagram. It looks like you living your best life. I've seen some food that looks killing, man.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I want to jump in and start talking about music. You have a new recording coming out, and stellar band featuring, if I can remember correctly, a rhythm section. You're joined by Dave Kikokski on piano and Lenny White on the drums. And then a formidable front line, Eddie Henderson trumpet, Joe Lovano on the tenor, Sherman Irby alto, and Steve Turre on the trombone. All right. And so you guys knocked out some hits at Dizzy's, and this was recorded. Did you know that it was going to be, did you go in there thinking we're going to do a live record, or are all things recorded there and you just checked it out later and thought, oh man, this is happening?
No, I planned it a while ago to do a live recording. And we're doing the music of McCoy, Tyner, and of Elvin Jones. So I wanted to have the members of the band that either played with one, either McCoy or Elvin, or both, as me, as I did. And, so I just really thought about it, and and I played in just about everybody in the bands, in their personal band. And me and Kikokski have done many records together, but it's the first time I ever played with Lenny White on a gig. But I kind of strategically set it up that way. And plus I wanted guys that were going to channel the spirit of either McCoy or Elvin and not try to play exactly like them. Because you can't.
Right.
But a lot of people try, as you know.
Yeah.
And it's just a waste of time.
Right. So, what are you going to do? Improve on it,
Right.
Yeah.
Just,
But I think like I said, the blues. What's the title of that again that you sent?
Blues in the Minor.
Blues in the Minor, yeah. I mean,
it
seems like everyone's has caught that vibe, and it's stretching, and
Yeah.
taking some chances. And, I think if the rest of the recordings like that, you were successful. But, how can you go wrong with like the cats you picked, really? I mean, I'm sure nothing needed to be said. Like no one in that band
Yeah, no.
is
We
going to
had
want
one
to like,
rehearsal.
yeah, well,
One
cool.
rehearsal. I sent them the music, I think, a week before. And we had one rehearsal. I had actually two rehearsals. One with just me, Lenny, and Dave, just to get us a week, like maybe a week before the gig, just to kind of get used to each other. And then the day before the gig, the first night on Thursday, we had a rehearsal with the whole band. And, it's grown-ups, man. Grown folk.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you got that experience, that level of experience, then you don't really need to, And plus, I'm not really one of those kind of band leaders where I want everything nitpicked out to I don't like that. I like the whole art of it all.
Right.
So.
Did you pick that up, like, working with, maybe speak about working with Elvin and McCoy as leaders? So I forgot who was telling me, or maybe I read about Elvin. Like whoever it was said he never talked about music, like when they were traveling or whatever. I mean, did he give you much instruction at all? I guess you would know if he was unhappy, and if you were still on the gig, he was probably happy. Yeah.
You definitely would know if he was unhappy. I got the call to play with Elvin 3 days before my first gig, which was at the Blue Note. And no rehearsal, none at all. So I had to do some research. And I kind of knew some of the tunes that he always did. But and I missed the sound check because I got confused. Nobody really told me what time the sound check was, so I almost didn't even make the first gig with Elvin. I almost got fired before I got on the gig. I had to go to his house and beg him, please don't fire me, give me a chance, He said, all right, And man, we just hit. But he did give me some instructions. I mean, I was in my early 40s when I played with Elvin, and I played with a lot of people at that point, but man, I really learned so much about the role of the bass in the rhythm section, probably working with him more than anybody.
Wow.
Because just to try to figure out how to play within such a wide beat was kind of a little difficult. And one day he just yelled at me on the bandstand and said, "Stop cutting off the quarter notes." I'm saying it in a nice way. I'm not going to say it in the way he said it.
A little more direct, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty direct. And he said, "Let the quarter note ring the full length of the quarter note." And I thought I was. And when I got off of that particular tour, I went home and I broke out my old wind-up metronome. And I started practicing walking just quarter notes with it. And then I just looked at it and I said, so the length of the quarter note is from here to here. That's the full length. Doom, 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 not dut, dut, dut. And that really pretty much solved the whole problem. And I've been playing that way ever since. And I teach my students the same thing. They all have to have the old, not the electronic. Zick, tick, 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 tick. That doesn't really do.
Right.
Because it's not the ticks that matter, it's the length of the note that matters.
Wow.
That's
I hadn't thought about that. So you like with the visual, with the visual old school metronome. I got you. Cool.
And plus it swings, the arm swings.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of time between this, from here, there's a lot of time. I never really saw it before, but there's so much time between each quarter note that it just relaxed me. And when I did my rhythmic articulations, I know I have that much time to do them.
That's heavy. How long did it take you to feel comfortable playing with Elvin, or maybe never?
Oh, Jesus.
Maybe you're always on your toes playing with someone like that.
No, it took like a year and a half.
Wow.
And after I did the quarter, because I did everything in the beginning. I did a complete study on Jimmy Garrison, Richard Davis, all the great bass players. And one night I was playing a whole pile of Jimmy Garrison shit. He just yelled at me, "Stop playing that shit. You don't know nothing about that. Play your own shit." On the bandstand, I was like, okay.
Wow. Yeah. That's heavy. And then how about McCoy, man? Like how'd you get that gig, and like what was the learning curve to survive on that?
You know, I mean, the thing with McCoy, somebody had told me, hey man, McCoy Tyner's looking for you. You know, okay, people tell you that, you'd be like, yeah, right, okay, sure, you know. And they're like, no, I think he's going to call you soon, you know. Sure enough, you know, his manager called and he said, yeah, McCoy would like to have you play in his band if you're interested. If I'm interested, right?
Yeah, right.
So I said, yeah, I'm interested. And he said, okay, I'll call you back. We'll have a 3-way call. And McCoy called me back. And the first thing he said was, hey, buddy. You know, I'm like, how you doing, Mr. Tyner? You know, Eddie Haskell style, you know. And he said, yeah, so I heard you played with Elvin. Elvin. I said, yeah, sir, I played with him for 9 years. He goes, that's all I need to know. Okay, talk to my manager and we'll work out the details. That's it. And, you know, they sent me a CD, his latest CD. It was the guitar CD. And I learned it. And we only played one tune off of it. You know,
what was he playing?
Shredded my ass off, right? For like sweating in the house, you know. And we played one tune, Angelina. That's the only tune. And then, and luckily I had kind of brushed up on like Fly with the Wind and Blues on the Corner.
Yeah.
And those things. And so I was kind of ready for him. But on the first gig I played with him was in a big concert hall. And man, I got to the concert hall early and, you know, I didn't have my bass because they had a bass for me and I got everything set up. The drummer at the time was Eric Gravatt. He comes walking in and he goes, hey, did you get together with McCoy? And I said, no. He goes, baptism by fire. And I said, well, that's right. I said, well, you know, I didn't get together with Elvin Jones the first time I played with him either. Think you played with Elvin? I was like, yeah. He said, oh. So, yeah, so.
He backed off. Man. Yeah. Cool, man. So, I mean, did he have charts or is he just playing his rap?
Nope. No charts.
Okay.
He just went into it, and he told me one thing. He said, listen, when you play with me, you have to listen to everything I'm playing. You have to listen. I said, okay. And yeah, he played like 3 or 4 tunes I never played before. But McCoy had a way of showing you tunes without a chart. Basically just listening to his left hand.
Uh-huh.
And listening for the 2 5s, you know, and different things.
That's super cool.
That was great. And then, you know, 14 years with him.
That's deep. And then I was saying he passed immediately before the pandemic, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
It's very sad. He had came to my house, him and his wife, him and Aisha, and I think Javon Jackson and Joe Farnsworth were there. We were just hanging out, listening to music, and, you know, my wife's from Naples, so she made great coffee and pasta and everything. And, you know, I got an old beat up, I was so embarrassed, I had a piece of crap piano. And I said, hey, McCoy, you want to play? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh my God. You know? Nice. And he sat down and he played one chord, you know, he kind of looked at me, I was like, I'm sorry. But now I was gonna get a new piano, but I don't think I'll ever get rid of that piano now.
Yeah, man. You know? No. There's some history there, man.
Yeah.
So the record's coming out when?
Well, you know, it's just in a very, very extreme early stages.
Okay.
My engineer is she's mixing and we're trying to do edits because, you know, it's a live record and you know, each tune is probably 15 minutes long, so I got to kind of chop up things, and I'm going to do on this particular one vinyl and CDs.
Okay.
So it's gonna, you know, I think around middle of January maybe.
All right. Cool.
And it's on my own label, so I'm not in any hurry.
Right. What else? Are you writing for this band at all, or are you doing like tunes associated with both Elvin and McCoy?
We did tunes. We did one of my tunes, a ballad called 3 Elders. That was written for Larry Willis, McCoy, and Elvin.
Okay.
You know, my 3 heroes, and we did, and that's going to be on the record. But that's the only only original composition for this particular. But I plan on doing another one in the fall to come out later, where I'm going to do a lot more of my compositions on it.
All right. And so is this band going to be on the road, or are you going to be in New York again with these cats?
Well, I intend to do that with this particular band. But Dave, I've been happy just being a side man. You know, I've done a lot of gigs with my own band and stuff, and traveled a little bit and everything. But at 64 years old, I ain't really trying to get on and off a plane, every other day in Europe. I'm more into education now. I'm really, really into that. But with this particular band, I think I'm gonna try to work it a little bit more. Maybe I'm talking to a couple of promoters.
64, you're not interested in getting on and off a piano. I mean, piano. Sorry, man.
Definitely not interested in that. No, I mean, it's not that I'm not interested. I'm just, kind of chilling more than I was. I did a lot of traveling with Roy Hargrove and, all those years, and a lot with McCoy and a lot with everybody. And, I've been more selective about a whole lot of traveling,
Yeah. No, I hear you. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, you've paid those dues. But, as I want to morph into, you spoke about that you're more interested in education. It seems to me like this is an oral tradition, you have maybe almost a responsibility. I'm not telling you what to do, but as someone that has a direct link with two of the heaviest cats in this music, Elvin Jones and McCoy Tyner, having this music, presenting it, carrying this on is something, part of the lineage of keeping the music going. So, I understand. To me, it makes complete sense, like why you're doing, and also the two of them are inextricably linked. Obviously, as being part of Coltrane's quartet. So let's jump into teaching. You're at Juilliard teaching right now.
I've been at Juilliard. I'm going into my 5th or 6th year at Juilliard, and I'm at Oberlin.
At Oberlin,
college. Yeah, I've been. It's my 3rd year, but it's my 1st year. I was visiting associate bass professor, but they just hired me as associate bass professor on a 10-year track.
Okay.
This year. And,
all right.
It's great, man. I'm teaching, bass students, and I have a really fun improvisation class.
Nice.
I really like teaching.
So you're back and forth between New York
and Ohio.
Yeah. How's that working?
It's a great faculty.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eddie Henderson and Gary Barge, Billy Hart. That's the faculty.
That's quite the faculty ensemble, man.
Yeah,
right there.
Great.
Yeah. So you talk about teaching. I mean, like one of the things that I've thought about as an educator, man, especially I've talked to a lot of the guests on this podcast about this, is like post 2020, post George Floyd. I've really thought about, okay, what am I doing as a jazz educator? Like this kind of, I think, made everyone do a reboot on, okay, where's this music coming from? Like, what are we passing on, to young people? It's more than shred, or, like,
right.
Yeah. So maybe, has this affected your teaching at all? I mean, has it changed or?
Man, I'm just trying to get my bass students to just embrace the whole art of playing the bass. The whole thing. The whole art of accompaniment. And walking and playing in tune, not just soloing and playing really good notes and thinking about what they're doing, and relaxing and just the whole beauty of playing the bass, man. I think it's kind of it's a little lost right now with a lot of the younger bass players. So I'm just really, I mean, like they're studying, Doug Watkins, Sam Jones, Oscar Pettiford, of course, Ray Brown, and Jimmy Blanton, just a whole lineage that I think a lot of young bass players are missing. They're kind of skipping from here to here to here, and they're missing very important parts of what it takes. I mean, it's such an important role. I really stress that how important it is to like be aware of everything that's going on and to like center the conversation and make the conversation interesting, and give who's ever on the front line, whether it be a singer or a horn player, like interesting different avenues that they could possibly go down with your choice of notes. And also, just loving that. You get a solo, but if you don't get a solo, so what? You're soloing while you're walking, creating beautiful melodic melodies while you're walking and making, really investigating the chord, like really investigating what notes you play in the chord to make it pop, stuff like that. They're doing, a lot of stuff, my students. I'm very proud of them all very much. Yeah.
Was this like something that you came to in your career? I guess what I want to ask you, did you embrace this immediately as a young bassist, like kind of the supportive role and like laying the foundation?
Yeah, I think it goes all the way back to playing with my dad in church when I was a kid. And that was on electric bass, playing gospel quartet music. My dad, he saw that I had a natural talent. He played guitar. So I was always around singing, and my Uncle George sang bass. But the notes that he sang weren't like the root third or fifth. They were sharp nines and flat fives and stuff on gospel music. And I remember hearing it.
Sounds like a hip church, man.
Yeah. Well, it's just a quartet. I don't think he knew what it was.
Uh-huh.
But I figured it out later. That's why he sounded so hip. And that stuck with me. But my dad would always tell me to stop playing so much. And he would tell me things like, when I play this chord, you play this note. He wouldn't know what the note was. But it was an interesting note, but it wasn't, it always fit his chord,
Right.
So I think it started way back then. Yeah.
All right.
And he taught me what to hear, in a different kind of way. So I think it started there, but then I was fortunate enough, man. I had really, even at the Wisconsin Conservatory of Music, when I was in Milwaukee, I had great teachers, Berkeley Fudge and Manti Ellis and Tony King, and I studied with Skip Crumbie, privately for years, and he was the master of substitute changes. So, and in the art of like the 2/5 and how to, I don't want to say manipulate it because I hate that word, but how to make it work, within like, because all standards are 2/5s anyways.
Right.
So
yeah,
I think that had a lot to do with it.
All right. Cool. Last thing that I want to go to before I let you go here, I'm sure Sunday afternoon in Italy is like prime, like chill time, man. So Gerald Cannon, the artist.
The painter. Yeah.
How did
that was a big secret.
I don't think so anymore, man. I was like checking out
Not
on your
anymore,
website.
No, but for years it was secret, man. I'll tell you, Bixler, I've been doing that as long as I can remember. Just as long as I've been playing the electric bass or the bass. I've always painted and drawn, and that was always my other thing, And I studied, when I was at the conservatory, I studied art history and took some sketching and painting classes at Marquette while I was there, but I just didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell anybody up until about, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Even though, I was doing shows in New York and other places, and I had like 2 set of cats. Like I had the musician cats that I hung out with, and I had my painter buddies who I hung out with like on Sunday mornings at Cafe Reggio.
Oh, wow.
That's
very artsy, very much. Yeah.
Yeah, we just sit and talk about art, bullshit,
trade berets or something. Right?
Yeah. So but it's I tell you what happened with me in that particular part of my art is that it just dawned on me. Why am I doing it? Why am I keeping it separate? Everything's all art. Music, painting, sculpture. I'm going to start while I'm here. I met a sculptor that's about 80 years old, and I think next week or the week after, I'm going to go to his place in Ischia and study with him for like a week, sculpting with a chisel and a hammer, man. I can't wait on some big ass granite. Man. That's something I always wanted to do. So he invited me to come and hang with him for a week, and then I'm going to come back in the fall or in the winter and take a really deep dive study with him on sculpting. It's all the same, man.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, do you have a studio you can do that in New York, like when you get back?
You kidding? My wife, she wouldn't let me do it. Well, she probably will, but I mean, no, I have a little art studio in my apartment, but I intend to, I don't know, I don't know how I'm going to work that one out. Who knows? Maybe I'll come every summer and do it.
You've achieved like a fair amount of success as a visual artist, no? From what I gathered. That's super cool. Then the other thing, like I said, was the last thing. There's one more last thing.
Keep going. I got this. It's all good.
It looked like you have some like collaborations between like both parts of yourself as a musician and as an artist. That some things that are inspired. Maybe how are they interlocked?
It's a good question. When I decided to just stop being a knucklehead about painting, what I realized is that I think the way I create bass lines are maybe the same way I paint. Because I don't go into it with any set plan. Not anymore. I mean, I'm an abstract expressionist, so I don't go into it with any, like, I don't draw something and then, no, I don't even look in the beginning. I just paint it and I look and I let the painting tell me what to do. And it's really helped me. Painting really helps me to let go. Because the minute I start controlling a painting, it just starts to get whack. It's kind of the same with bass lines.
Improvisation in general.
Thinking about right here, I can use a double diminished scale over this chord. This just starts to sound.
Yeah.
It's like bullshit if I can say that on it. But, like if I just let go and let the chords flow, I mean, it's like a canvas. This has 4 corners. It's like a chart, 4 corners. And there's rules. I mean, I got to stay within the corners of the canvas. Otherwise, I'm painting on the wall, But in the same, and there's chord changes and there's rules to like mix and paint and certain little things. But within each chord progression or each chord in each measure, man, there really ain't any rules. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just a matter of like making for me at least, as far as bass lines and accompaniment, it's like a matter of flowing with what's going on in the music, not what's on the paper. Like if I'm playing with you, okay, I'm listening to what you're doing, man. I could give a shit about the chords on the chart. I already know the chords on the chart, so that's done. But in order for me to really accompany you, I have to listen to you, man, and try to like, and that's the beauty of it for me, is to like play the right notes to kind of like not influence you either or handcuff you, but just there's a million colors of red, man.
Yeah.
That is red, but there's a many variations of that red. So it's like, you play some stuff, man, I hear it. And I might go with it, or I might go this way, and you might hear that and want to go that way. Or, it's just beautiful. Music's so beautiful. McCoy Tyner told me this one time, man, coming down the stairs at the Blue Note. And I never forgot. He said, Gerald, they call it art. I said, yeah. So let's go paint. Bam. It pretty much summed up everything for me.
Yeah.
And, he never had a chart. I asked him for a chart one time for a tune. He just called on the spot on a gig. And I could hear it, but so on the break I said, hey, can you give me the chords to that? He's like, yeah. So he reached in his pocket, pulled out a Sharpie, grabbed a napkin, wrote a few chords down, and he stuck it back in his pocket. This was in Japan, and so right before the gig, he said, hey, can I get that little thing with the chords? He goes, yeah, he pulled it. It's all sweated up. It's just a big blob of black. And I looked at it and I said, thanks. And that's it. That's the only chart I've ever gotten. And that's the only thing. McCoy never, ever told me what to play.
Wow.
Not one time. He just said, man, just swing it. That's it. And I was, in the beginning, I was like, am I playing the right change? He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is also a lesson, just like, I don't know, if we play together, shit, what am I going to do? What business do I have of telling you what to play? Even on my own tune. I want to hear what you do with it. Mm-hmm. I don't want you to be, okay, it's just a melody. Okay, once we get past the melody, even the way you interpret the melody, it might be written a certain way, but I want to hear how you interpret it. I don't want to hear what I wrote, because what I wrote could be really corny. I just like it, But what you play might be really up, man.
Yeah.
Plus,
let's hope so.
Nah, man, we gotta play too.
Yeah, no, for sure, man.
It's been all these years.
Well, when are you coming back?
I'll be back. I'm not really sure. Probably in the middle of August.
Okay. I'll be back.
Maybe at the end.
Yeah, I'm coming back.
When are you coming back?
Into August. Well, actually, I'm going. I get done here. I fly back on the 31st. I'm overnight in New York, then I fly to Green Bay because I'm teaching in York County for 2 weeks. But I'll be back. Same thing, like the end of August, man. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Are you playing over there now in Budapest or?
Well, I did a couple gigs in Vienna, and then I'm doing a workshop starting tomorrow in Tokaj, which is like 2 hours away from Budapest, but we're just hanging in Budapest for a couple of days, man. So it's nice. Yeah.
Look at us, Racine,
Yeah, man. Living large,
see?
bro.
People be doubting and shit, They get one idea about you, and then it's, Yeah, check that out though.
Yeah, for sure, man.
It's so good to like, especially people from Racine, because a lot of times people would say to me, so you're from Milwaukee? I'm like, nah, man, I'm from Racine.
Yeah,
it's a big difference.
Yeah.
But what's the difference? You don't want to know, but trust me, it's a big difference.
Yeah. That's for sure, man.
You get home often?
I'll get done with teaching up in Door County, and then I'll head down there for a couple days before I go back.
Yeah. Cool. Hey, wait a minute. When you go home, are you gonna go to O&H Bakery and get a crinkle bear hay?
Dude, that's like right next to where my folks are, man. Yeah, the O&H, man. Yeah, land of the Vikings, baby, bro. You know it, man. Yeah. It's so out, man. Is like, I don't know. I'm sure you're hip to this, but Trader Joe's has them now.
I know. Yeah. My son told me.
Yeah. So and it's so out because you never hear Racine like outside of Racine. So like
exactly.
You're in Trader Joe's and like, wow, man, that's deep.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. Gerald, thank you for your time. Thanks for the music. It sounds great, bro.
Thank you, man.
And enjoy your time in Italy. And I can't wait to see the granite. That's like boss level action right there, man. So
I kind of stuck my foot in the hot water, and plus that's another reason I got those guys. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I haven't played that much during COVID.
Yeah.
Might as well come out and get my ass kicked or kick some ass or everybody kick each other's ass or whatever it's going to be. I'm going in there.
Yeah. Extreme fighting. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, cool.
All right, man. LINER Notes is grateful for the support of Van Doren Reeds and Mouthpieces. Be sure and check out the Van Doren Advisory Studio in New York City for all your sound sculpting needs. Liner Notes is grateful for the support of Arlen's Good Beer in Bowling Green, Ohio. Sound by Marco Mendoza. The theme music is No FOMO, No Foe by yours truly. Produced by David Bixler. Be sure and subscribe to Liner Notes wherever you find your podcasts. If you like what you hear, I ask that you consider supporting Liner Notes financially. You can do this by going to the Liner Notes tab at davidbixler.com. Thank you for your consideration.